Hello, Facebook. My name is Lisa Smith. I'm part of the SEAM team, and this is SEAM Live from the Children's Education Alliance of Missouri. Tonight, we're doing something new. It's the parent takeover of SEAM Live, but more about that in a minute. If you're watching this live, thank you for joining us. And if you're watching this as a recording, thank you too. We will be watching the comment sections of this Facebook Live. So please join the conversation with your questions, comments, or just stop by to say hi. We'll do our best to answer all your questions. We will also be sharing resources in the comment section. Like I said, tonight is a parent takeover on SEAM Live. Instead of our regular host, SEAM team leader Peter Franzen, I am taking over Facebook Live to bring you the parent perspective on being an education advocate. Joining me is my colleague from the Kansas City SEAM team, Samoy Manda. Hi, Samoy.
Hi, Facebook Live. Welcome to the Parent Takeover. Lisa, what a great job opening us up for our very first Facebook Live. We're going to have so much fun tonight.
Thank you. I try. Samoy, I'm looking forward to our program tonight. As parent advocates, we aim for our conversation to inspire others to join SEAM and advocate for all Missouri students to have access to a quality education.
You know what, Lisa, that would be amazing if we can continue or to inspire new parents to advocate for school choice. All hands on deck when it comes to a child's education in the great show me state of Missouri. I just think we're going to have an awesome time, Lisa, tonight and inspire some individuals that could really help our children in the state of Missouri.
Yes, yes. So, how did you become an advocate for school choice options?
Lisa, we started advocating for school choice back in 2015 when we moved here from Michigan. My daughter in Michigan was a virtual student. After we moved here to Missouri, we found out that there was no virtual schooling for my daughter Hannah, which forced us to do traditional homeschooling. I'm so grateful that we did have that option, but I was nervous at the time because I didn't have like a degree. And, I was like, am I going to this is going to be bad for me and my daughter, like what am I going to do, but I didn't know about different types of organizations that could help with school choice, but I knew I could do something. So we started going to the Capitol, and from there it has been amazing, Lisa, absolutely amazing, just to be able to go from 2015 to back in last year. Okay, no, not last year because we're in 2024 now. So June of 2022, when the governor, he signed off for House Bill 1552, which allowed all students to participate in virtual education in Missouri. My daughter, this is her second year at MOVA, Missouri Virtual Academy. She's doing amazing, but it doesn't stop there, as you know, Lisa. Like, we continue to advocate for school choice because it's just something that has to continue going on and on. But that's how we started, and that's how we also have our kids involved too, because it's important for them to see what we go through when it comes to school choice.
Yes, yes. Your testimony is amazing. I'm proud of you. Parents serve as their children's greatest advocates.
They sure do, Lisa. And I know you've been an advocate for quite some time. You started a while ago, but I would love to know, and Facebook Live would love to know, what caused you to get into becoming an advocate for school choice?
Um, my journey started about 8.5 years ago when my son was 5 years old. He had two terrifying incidents inside of our neighborhood school. The
Hmm.
first incident, he was locked inside the school during a fire drill. No
Hmm.
one contacted me and told me anything. He told me when he got home how he had been crying all day, locked behind double doors. I didn't even know a school can,
Hmm.
lose your child and not tell you, but apparently That's what happened. And then the second incident, he was attacked by a student. So he was terrified to go to school. So I became a parent volunteer to make my son feel safe and to help my neighborhood school. But I had witnessed a lot and I had so many other concerns. And the administrators told me to write the board about my concerns. And I wrote the board, but then after that, I was falsely banned from the school and I had to homeschool my child. I had no school choice options. I had to homeschool. That was the only option because I refused to let him stay in a school system that will lie on me and want to educate my child.
Yeah.
So after that, I homeschooled them, and then I was trying to like I guess I went through the chain of the command at the school trying to get help, but no help was there. Finally, I contacted Desi, and Desi, a worker at Desi, told me to call Sing. And I
Okay.
called Sing immediately because I was looking for help.
Yeah.
And I had talked to Peter, and basically the rest is history with that. I stayed connected with them. Seam was doing everything, to advance education and to empower parents. So
Yeah.
they let me know about a school choice option that was available to me, which was the transfer program at the time. So I entered my son in a transfer program, and I started just working closely with SEAM. Like I said, SEAM is doing all the work to empower parents, help parents, find the best schools, advanced education so we can have options. So that's the type of work I want. I love doing and being a part of, you know what I'm saying? So I am proud today that I did advocate in favor of most scholars, and the governor passed that into law in 2021, and
Yes.
that is amazing. That is a major school choice option for parents to have. So that
Absolutely. Mhm.
that kinds of sums up my journey with advocacy on school choice.
Wow, Lisa. I mean, every time I hear your story, especially when your son was locked in during a fire drill, it literally brings tears to my eyes. Like just hearing your story, it just, as a mama, I know I can only imagine. So thank you so much for sharing.
Yes, thank you. I'm trying not to say too much, or I won't get too emotional
I
because
know
it's
it's
crazy,
hard. Yeah,
parents need options. I was left with no school choice option at all, and that should never
yeah.
happen.
Should never
That should
happen.
never happen.
Absolutely. Yeah, still not able to. Not at all.
Yeah. So as we were getting ready for tonight's Facebook Live, I had an idea for us.
Oh, Lisa, you know I love your ideas. So please tell me and everyone that's watching live right now and those that will be watching the recording, what are some of your ideas?
I think a great starting point for engaging potential advocates is to address the top 5 myths that people believe about advocacy. These
Mm,
myths often create fear or hesitation in people, preventing them from advocating for Missouri students to have a better education.
yeah. Oh, wow. Okay. Okay, Lisa, I hear you. All right. Well, then I love those. The top five myths. Why don't we hop in and start with number five?
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
All right, here we go. So, everyone, here are our from Lisa and I, our top five myths people believe about advocacy. We're going to start at five. Number one will be the grand finale. Number five, parental requirement, meaning the notion that only parents can effectively advocate for school choice. Stop, everyone. Untrue, untrue. We have so many different advocates for school choice. So you do not have to be a parent for school choice. You do not have to be a parent to advocate for school choice. We have those who have children that are finished with school, um, but they still support school choice. We've got grandparents, we've got concerned citizens because, we do pay taxes. So they're concerned about education. We have school leaders. We all pay taxes in the system, right, Lisa?
Yes, the whole
Yes,
community, everybody can be involved in advocating.
everybody can be involved in school choice education. We just want the education that works for our kids. Your son is different from my daughter, but you know your son better than me. I
Mhm.
know my daughter better than anyone. So it's important. We all want the best education for our kids. People who just have a passion for education can advocate. So you do not have to be a parent to advocate for school choice. That is definitely 110% a myth.
Yes, yes.
Yes.
That was awesome. That was good.
Yeah.
Okay, number four, on the top five myths that people believe is number four is legislator time concern.
Mm,
The perception that legislators don't have time to hear our personal stories, you guys, that is untrue.
yeah.
Legislators need to hear from us. We're
Mm,
their constituents.
yeah.
We voted them into office. So we have a right to speak to them. That's why they're called representatives, because they represent us.
Hmm.
Legislators have told me that our personal stories are what they need to make their compelling case to change or create laws.
Yeah.
So they want to hear from us to have that unique understanding coming from parents to know what's going on in the school systems.
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
our personal stories are basically our superpowers when it comes to advocacy.
Yeah.
So we want you all to know that legislators do want to hear your personal stories and they will make time for you.
Before we go to the number three one, Lisa, I'm so glad you brought that myth up because I know you've heard and I've heard from the legislator, the representatives, elected officials' mouths that they want to hear our personal stories because it makes a difference when they go into session, which is starting tomorrow. So having those personal stories are so important for legislators to hear. So that is a perfect myth. Thank you so much.
Yes.
All right. Okay. Well, let's do another one of our top five
Okay.
myths that people believe about advocacy. Oh my goodness, this is awesome. Number three, one person can't make a difference. I think we both need to discuss this one, Lisa. I know we know firsthand is untrue. Oftentimes, one person is the spark that lights a fire. I mean, sometimes it takes that one person to begin, and it's just kind of like a domino effect where others want to get involved and advocate for school choice. I know, especially with our SEAM organization, you are not alone. You from the beginning to never ending because it doesn't stop. Kids are never
Mhm.
going to stop going to school. So we're definitely not alone when you advocate for a school choice. I just know that um, it's important to have that personal story of your own personal story. You have your own personal story, I have my own personal story, but it's important that legislators hear those personal stories because there's always that one story that sticks to an individual. I know you have someone, I know you have your story that someone in one of the elected officials, she's been using your story for years because she knew how important it was to you and it stuck out to her when it comes to discussing bills.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
They
so
remember.
so it is definitely untrue. History is full of people who made a difference. Y'all, we are making a difference. Okay, sorry, y'all. I say y'all a lot, so I'm a southerner, so if you hear that, y'all, we can definitely we one person can't make a difference. Untrue. We can definitely make a difference, but when we come out in numbers, it's absolutely amazing.
Yes. Yes. Absolutely. All
Yes.
right. I think we're ready for number two on our top five myths people believe about advocacy.
All right.
Number two, capital requirements. The belief that one must go to the capital to be a successful advocate, we want you all to know that is untrue. While
Yes.
advocacy can involve going to the Capitol, many people advocate by phone,
Mhm.
letters, emails, as well as connecting with your legislator at their local district office. So there's many ways you can advocate from the comfort of your own home or
Mhm.
taking a trip to the Capitol, you know,
Yeah.
engaging in various forms of advocacy is crucial to making effective change in the education system. So some people might want to just email and send letters, and
Mhm.
others might want to take trips to the Capitol. But
Yeah.
it's all ways we can be involved in advocacy.
Oh wow, that is amazing. Yeah, it the work starts in our community. It starts at home. So yeah. All right. That brings us to our number one on our top five myths that people believe in advocacy. I have to do this because I love when we get to number one things. Drum roll, please. You have to be an accomplished public speaker. We do not have
Ooh.
to be accomplished public speakers to advocate for school choice. Lisa and
So,
I,
boy, I can say this. I'm always nervous when I speak publicly. You know that. But I know how important it is to tell my story.
can I just tell a quick short story to our audience, if that's okay, who's watching live? Oh my goodness. So back in October of last year, we had our SEAM gala, and Lisa here she was one of the ones that were speaking about her story. I had the privilege of being at the table with Lisa before she got up on stage. As soon as she walked into the gala, it was all over her face. The nerves, y'all. The nerves. It was so bad that Lisa could not even drink water. She just had this. She's like, I'm so nervous. I'm so nervous. It was like, it's not funny, but if I can just, how sometimes you have that, you can see someone's face even long after it's over with. I can still see that nervous. Lisa. Oh my gosh. But when you got up there, you nailed it. Oh my gosh. It was so powerful. It was so powerful. Didn't even know you were nervous. You just did such an amazing job. You got to the point. You said what you wanted to say about Most Scholars and your story to those who were watching and those who could take it back and just learn more about school choice. But then I was so happy afterwards you were able to drink and eat, so that was
Yeah.
definitely, I had to tell that story, y'all. One other thing that about you don't have to be an accomplished speaker. It says, and this is statistics. It says I read that 75% are more afraid of public speaking than death. Oh my gosh, than death. They'd
That's
rather
crazy.
face death than public speaking. Woo. Okay. Yeah. Also, another thing, even when you testify, you get to have your notes, and it only lasts like 3 minutes. So like once you get
Yeah.
into once the nerves, I know for me, I get an adrenaline rush. Like I know you and I were both nervous about tonight, but we just get this adrenaline rush. And when you're at the Capitol, when you're testifying, you have your notes right there with you, and you have 3 minutes. Those 3 minutes go by super fast. And most of our talking on an advocacy is one-on-one with a legislator or with a small group. So you're not going to be with thousands of individuals. It's not like you're going to be where the House and the Senate meet for sessions and stuff like that. It will be one-on-one or with a small group. Um, Also, one of the biggest things that will help with advocating, seeing tell your story training really helps you prepare for talking to people about your experience. We have the 3 minute elevator pitches, excuse me, not 3 minutes, 30-second elevator pitches, as well as just giving you the support and the resources and the tools to be able to talk to um, those that are our elected officials to tell your story. So you want to get the meat of the story, and that is exactly what SEAM helps us with. And I'm so thankful and so grateful to be able to have them as an organization.
Yes, to be part of doing this awesome work, you know.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Well, hopefully we debunk some myths and those watching will be inspired to join SEAM in advocating for Missouri students to have access to a quality education.
Yeah.
So, Samoy, can you
Yes,
tell
ma'am.
anyone watching, can you tell anyone watching how they can get involved?
Absolutely. So we in the description box down below, you will have our information, seamteam.org, as well as some other email addresses. You have our email address. I believe that they are putting our email address in there. I'm on the Kansas City side. Lisa is in the St. Louis area. You can reach out to the organization where you are. I know some people are not close to either Kansas City or St. Louis. They might be in some of the rural areas, but you will definitely have our support 110%. Also, there are some wonderful engagement opportunities that are coming up. The first one being January 9th, which is our education advocacy training on Zoom. So you can be in your pajamas, y'all, and just click Zoom on the link that we will provide at 6 p.m. to do the education advocacy training. Also, another wonderful opportunity is January 13th, another advocacy training on Zoom. It's on a Saturday, so I know lots of people will be in their PJs. I know I would be, but it's at 4 p.m. On Zoom. So if you can do that, please, that'd be great. And we will be at the Capitol, at the actual Capitol on January 17th for Advocacy Day. Starting at, we don't have a specific time, but we would love to see you come out. If you need help getting transportation there, please, please, please reach out to us, because we would love to have individuals come and advocate for school choice. And then the final thing for January is January the 24th. We will have National School Choice Week at the Capitol starting at 11. There will be hundreds and hundreds of advocates and children all over the great state of Missouri to celebrate school choice. And we would love to see you there. All of the dates will be on our Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, our website. All the events will be on there. You can also, directly reach out to Lisa or I, and we will go from there.
Oh, awesome. Thank you. Okay, so it's a wrap. Thank
Oh my
everyone.
gosh.
Yeah. Thank everyone for joining us live. And if you're watching this in the future online, make sure you follow some of the links in the comment section and get involved. Everyone watching, follow us on Facebook, like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter at Seam Team, and check out our website, seamteam.org, and showmeschooloptions.org. Thank you all, and good night.